Hi guys, good morning. Thank you for coming here today and listening to our speech. Okay. In life we go through a lot, from ups and downs, the highs and the lows. It's important that every person has something to get them through the storm. Some people have a certain person they can vent to, like a family member, a friend, or even a stranger. Some have a hobby that they love, and others, like me, have a getaway place where it seems like no problems exist. There was a quote by Alexandra Stoddard which reads, "When you have a beautiful place, you carry it with you wherever you go." Over the last 8 years, the beautiful country of Dominican Republic has been a place I carry with me wherever I go. When I was younger, I visited Casa de Campo with my family, and I loved the trip so much, but since I was so young, I wasn't able to appreciate it as much as I probably should have if I were to go when I was older. It was not until I was 18 years old when I went there again and realized everything the island had to offer for myself. Before I began to travel to Dominican Republic 2 times a year, I had visited many other places like islands, cities, towns across the United States and the Caribbean, but it just wasn't the same. My dad actually had the same connection with Dominican Republic and decided to buy land and build a house outside of the capital of Santo Domingo. When the house was complete, it was one of my first visits to the country in many years. It was the summer going into my first year of college, and at that point I was suffering from a lot of stress, anxiety, and depression from just graduating, trying to figure out what am I going to do for school. I don't have a job. Friends that I used to be really close with in high school were not friends anymore, and it really affected me. The accumulation of all the problems was leading me to depression, and I didn't know what to do because I felt like I didn't have anywhere to turn. So I knew I had to get away from the hustle and bustle of the States and retreat to a place that was laid back and offered something different, some type of adventure, and something that I could really just jump into and feel like I was myself again. From the moment I stepped off the plane into the airport, I could smell the air of the island and feel the heat of the air. The environment and scenery were overwhelmingly beautiful, and the entire car ride was amazing. I was taking so many pictures of the streets, the people, the town, everything, the buildings. The country is so different from what we normally see, and which makes you even more intrigued, and you just want to see more and adventure across the entire island. When we arrived to the house, my step family that was there were so welcoming, and they tended to everything and all my needs. They made me feel like it was almost their job to keep me entertained and occupied. Like they made me feel like I was part of their own family. And whenever I was hungry, they cooked for me. If I wanted to go somewhere, they took me out. It was never a problem. And that's one thing that I learned was that the family structure that Latinos have is they are very close knitted, and they do for each other like that. Family is everything. And by watching how they treated each other and myself showed how close they were, and I really wish that I had that with my family back home. And to this day, I still try to improve on my relationships with my family members from my experience with that. And every time I'm there, I become so much more involved in what's around me in the real world rather than being glued to my cell phone or just being cooped up in my room. One of my favorite things to do is go swimming, snorkeling, walking on the beach, and going on boat trips. And when I'm there, everything just seems to be at my fingertips because, it's on an island and everything is accessible. So I couldn't ask for more. Another positive thing I got out of my trips there was the more I visited, the better I became at the language. As you guys know, I'm sure you've heard that when you're learning a new language, it's actually best to become completely immersed in, the culture, the language. If you hear it every day, you get better and better. So, me being there all the time really improved my speaking skills, my writing skills, reading skills in the language. And when I was in high school, I took a lot of Spanish classes, but I actually failed every single one. And when I came to Bucks, I think it was my first year at Bucks, I took a Spanish class and I failed miserably. And after going to DR so many times, I actually ended up passing my class, my next Spanish class, with an A+. So it was really good. So for me, the adventurous life on an island is where I feel most at peace, and I think that deserves the most tribute. I hope everyone in this room can find their happy place if they have not already, and is able to be impacted by it so much that they carry it with them wherever they go.